former New York City prosecutor Paul Callan and NewsNation correspondent-at-large Geraldo Rivera. Let's do law and then politics, because both of you can speak to both. It's good to have you both. Thank you, brothers. Thank you for doing it on short notice. Paul, legally, does this mean what I think, which is leave him alone for now? We'll look at it again after the election.
Well, that's what they're trying to get away with, but this is completely bizarre. I've never seen something like this attempted in a federal court. Now, bear in mind, the assistant U.S. attorneys in the Southern District have to agree to go along with this. And they have the right to resign from office. Remember the Saturday night massacre that happened during the Nixon administration when they said in good conscience, I can't do something like that? You may have a Saturday night massacre here where none of these assistants are willing to go into court and move for dismissal. You then have to appear in front of a federal judge. And by the way, it happens to be a federal judge who was selected by Mr. Trump, which probably helps his position. However, federal judges are very independent. And this federal judge who's had the case is going to say, why in the world are you walking away from this case? And if you want to do this, you have the right to pardon the mayor. You don't have to have the court and the current Southern District agree to your conditions. And there are bizarre conditions listed in the letter that was sent.
But why would the judge fight it? If the prosecutor doesn't want to bring the case, or they're saying, we've been told not to bring this case in the interest of justice, what is the judge's, what's the judge's motivation or upside?
Well, Chris, in state court, a judge would really not get involved at this level. But federal courts are different. When you settle a federal case, the federal judge has to agree to the settlement. He also has to agree to the dismissal. However, in the end, someone's got to prosecute the case. And if the prosecutors are refusing to present evidence, the defendant wins. So the federal judge is going to stall it if he wants to, but in the end, he won't be able to stop it. So you are correct about that.
All right, so let's talk about the politics, because that's what this is really about. Obviously, this letter was drafted by somebody other than Trump, Geraldo. We both know how he speaks and how he writes. So they're trying to do what he wants here. And it comes at the same time that Adams, there's a story moving now in a New York tabloid that Adams has been telling officials under his power to not openly criticize Trump. I don't know why he would say that out loud, knowing that they were going to rat on him about it. But what do you think the political play is here for Trump and the plus minus for Adams?
Well, for Trump, it shows that yet again his influence is undeniable and so formidable that you can't stand up to it. And it was pretty clear that President Trump wanted Eric Adams to be free and clear of these charges. But I think that two quick things. One is that the case against Mayor Adams, in my opinion, was a lame case. It stunk to high heaven to me. I was shocked that Damian Williams and the Southern District brought this prosecution for upgrades on Turkish Airlines. I mean, I've been upgraded by are they going to come and arrest me now? When someone comes, Geraldo, come from coach and sit up front. We got an empty seat. Come on, mayor of the greatest city of in the world, you're sitting in coach, come sit up front. They're going to give you an upgrade. That's a felony now? And to try and draw a quid between that and building the Turkish consulate? Doesn't Turkey get to have a consulate near the United Nations? I think that that is preposterous. And I think that in Adams' case, maybe he played it. And I think the voters of New York can judge whether he played the immigration issue as his trump card to get this pass from the president. I don't know about that, but I am absolutely delighted. Even though I am myself conflicted, because I like Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York, who is the most formidable challenger against Eric Adams in the Democratic primary. I like both these men very much. I go back years with Mayor Adams when he was a cop. Of course, Andrew Cuomo was a terrific governor of New York State. I can't tell you how many cop funerals I've been to with Governor Cuomo. I think that what you have here is all kinds of politics bubbling up, but this is a case I'm glad let Eric Adams be Eric Adams.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.